right, guys, listen, I have got a really good topic for you today. In fact, this topic is something that we probably need to remind ourselves of a lot because we do live in a really negative world. Okay? And how many times have you said to yourself, oh, just be positive, or you told somebody, just be positive? Because it's hard sometimes. It's really, really hard to be positive all the time. But sometimes we just have to be reminded of that. And this call is not about positivity necessarily. It's about how we speak to ourselves. Okay? Now, in my Facebook post, I kind of teased a little bit about how we are in complete control. And I know some of you are like, no, Steve, some of this stuff is out of my control. It's like, no, it's not really out of your control. It really, really is in your control, whatever you want to get. All right? Now, I will tell you this. I have spent a good amount of time with Tony Robbins. Not only in my car, but I had a chance to be on stage with Tony a few years back. And one of the things that has really stuck with me from the teachings of Tony Robbins is that he always says that if you want better answers, ask better questions. If you want better answers, ask better questions. And the reason is because your brain will always come up with an answer. It doesn't matter what question you ask yourself, your brain is going to come up with an answer. And so if you want better answers, we've got to start asking ourselves better questions. For example, I hear people all the time say, well, why can't I lose weight? Or why can't I make this business work for me? Or why don't great things happen to me? Well, if you ask questions like that, your brain's going to come up with an answer. If you say, well, why can't I lose weight? Your brain's going to say, well, it's because you live in the refrigerator. Well, it's because you eat fast food too much. Well, it's because you eat a whole pizza every morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Your brain will tell you why you can't lose weight. Or why can't I make this business work for me? Well, it's because you're not talking to enough people. Well, it's because of this. It's because of that. Your brain will come up with an answer for you. So instead of asking questions like, why can't I do this? Or why can't I do this? Or why don't great things happen to me? Instead, ask a question like this. How can I lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days and have fun doing it? How can I lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days and have fun doing it? Well, your brain is going to come up with an answer. Your brain's going to say, okay, in the next 30 days, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this, 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 this. And you also said to yourself, how can I have fun doing it? Your brain's going to come up with a way so you can have fun losing weight. Okay? How can I make $50,000 a month and have fun doing it? Well, your brain is going to come up with an answer. Your brain's going to come up with answers that says, all right, if you want to make $50,000 a month and have fun doing it, here's what we're going to do. And your brain will come up with an answer. Okay? If you say to yourself, great things are about to happen to me. Well, your brain is going to come up with reasons why great things are about to happen to you. So guys, today's call is all about asking the right questions. If you ask better questions, you're going to get better answers. Now, here's the part that absolutely threw me for a loop. Tony was talking all about this, and then he also said that there are two sides of our brain. There's the thinker side, and there's the prover side. Okay? Whatever you think, the prover side must prove the thinker correct. Now, I want that to soak in for just a second because it's like, Steve, what the heck did you just say? Guys, whatever you think, okay, remember, your brain is divided into two sections. You've got the thinker side and you've got the prover side. So in other words, whatever you think, the prover side must, in capital letters, must prove the thinker correct. So if you're thinking to yourself, I'm never going to be able to lose weight, the prover side of your brain says, okay, let me prove to you that you're never going to lose weight. Guys, does that make sense? Okay? Instead, ask, okay, the thinker side says, I'm going to become a top income earner. Well, the prover side of your brain says, all right, let me prove to you why you're going to be a top income earner. So, guys, think of all the things that you want. Think of all the things that you want, and your brain will prove to you that it will come true. So when I was listening to Tony and doing this lesson, I filed these notes away, and sometimes when I was going through trying to figure out what I was going to talk to you guys about the other day for today's call, these notes just popped up to me, and I'm like, wow, this is something that we need to talk about more often, because we do live in such an incredibly negative world. And people are saying, well, why can't I do this and why can't I do this? I had somebody say to me one time, they said, every time I look in my rearview mirror, it's like, why am I the one that's getting pulled over? It seems like I get pulled over by the police all the time. Well, if you say something like that, your brain is going to prove to you why you are the one that's getting pulled over. It's like, all these cars out here on the street, why am I the one getting pulled over? Well, your brain's going to go, well, the reason you got pulled over, dummy, is because you're going, 20 miles over the speed limit. You're driving erratically, blah, blah, blah. Your brain will prove your thinking correct. So if we ask better questions, we're going to get better answers. And whatever you think, good or bad, your prover side of your brain will prove the thinking side correct. So guys, I want everybody to sit back today and really digest this. I want you guys to sit back and go, okay, what do I really, really want to get out of this business? And you say to yourself, all right, before the month is over with, I want to add, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, and you don't necessarily say I want, say, listen, I'm going to add 10 new people to my organization in the next 5 days, and I'm going to have fun doing it. So if you think that way, your brain is going to come up with answers to say, okay, what kind of contest can we put together? So you're going to think of things that you can do for your team, and you can do special trainings, or you can do special incentives to prove the thinking part of your brain correct, which is you're going to put 10 new people in your organization before the end of the month. Ask questions like that. Think in a way that you want things to happen positively for you, and the prover side of your brain will prove the thinking side correct. Gosh, this seems so simple to me. When I explain it and I'm trying to tell you guys this, it sounds a little bit complicated, but in my head, I'm like, this is so simple. This is so simple. And people say, well, just put it out in the atmosphere and good things are going to happen. It's like, yes, that's exactly right. Put that out in the atmosphere, and your brain, the proving side of your brain, is going to prove it correct. And you will figure out ways. You'll figure out ways to make whatever it is happen. Whether it's you want to lose weight by a certain date. It's like, why can't I lose weight? Cabo's coming up. And oh my gosh, there's no way I'm going to be able to lose 10 pounds before Cabo. And you know what your brain's going to say? Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because you're not going to change your ways. You're going to continue to eat the food that you're eating. You're going to continue to live a lifestyle where you're not moving very much. And you're like, yeah, see, I knew I couldn't do it. It's like you have that little conversation with yourself. You ever see those, we've all seen it, with the angel on one side of your shoulder and the devil on the other side? That's it. That's so true. Because most of these conversations you have are with yourself. And so if you ask yourself better questions, the other side is going to give you better answers. So let's start thinking of things, you guys. Let's start thinking of things, and listen, I don't want all of these calls just to be about our business. I want you to apply these things in life. I want you to just really, really start to apply these things in life. Like if you see, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of things off the top of my head. What can I do to help people in my community and have fun doing it? It's like, okay, well now your brain's going to sit back and go, well, I could volunteer at the food pantry. I could get involved in this activity. I could do this. I could volunteer and help tutor kids, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you put out there, you guys, the proving side of your brain will prove the thinking part correct, and you'll come up with positive answers. So that's why we put positivity out in the world, and your brain will prove that activity correct. I hope this makes sense. I feel like I'm talking in circles right now, but I hope all of this makes sense. And I want you guys to try it. I really, really want you to try this. And I want you to, and hopefully you're taking notes on this. And maybe I'll actually post these notes in our Facebook page. And also, you guys, you're all on the call, so I don't. This doesn't apply to you. But I've had so many people that are like, Steve, I can't call in. I live in another country, and it's cost so much, and I don't listen to these calls. Well, I'm trying to figure out a way, you guys, to turn this into a podcast. All right, so you can just click on the podcast and just listen to these calls over and over and over again. But what I'm doing in the meantime is I'm recording them and I'm posting them on our Facebook page. And all you have to do is just click on, when I post it, just click on the link. It'll download to your computer in about 15 seconds, and then you can listen to it. But what if we had, tens of thousands? What if we had, what if we had, tens of thousands of people that have joined our company in the last, 30 days, 60 days, all thinking this way? What just think about what our businesses would look like, but also think about how different our world would be if everybody had this mentality. It's like, ask better questions. You're going to get better answers. Now, the trick is to not doubt yourself, because the prover side will support the doubt. If you have all of this doubt that is seeping through your head, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is going to work. I've done this and that and the other thing. And the prover side of your brain is going to go, yeah, let me prove that doubt is correct. So don't let that doubt cloud your thinking. Ask better questions. You're going to get better answers. Whatever you think, good or bad, the thinking side, good or bad, has to be proven correctly by the proving side of your brain, the prover side of your brain. Pretty deep stuff, right? But it makes so much sense. All right, guys, let's get out of here.